Live from Mahwah, New Jersey, I am Frank Rossi, and Reginald Bazile is next to me here for the New Jersey Athletic Conference Men's Basketball Championship game between Ramapo, the Roadrunners, and Rutgers-Newark, the Scarlet Raiders. Ramapo comes in as the number 1 overall seed in the NJAC tournament at 22-4 overall. Rutgers-Newark comes in at 20-6 overall. However, they are not 1-2 in terms of the region. They are 1-3 in terms of the region. We'll talk a lot more about that as the evening wears on and what it all means. But first, Reggie, thanks for joining me again. I did a little bit of a NJCAA basketball a couple weeks ago, and you did so well. We wanted to have you back to call a different Division III, the Division III in NCAA basketball, and namely this D3Hoops.com broadcast of the NJAC Championship. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Frank. And if you would have taken me to Alaska, I would have followed you there too. So,
it's a little cold up there, and I don't like cold, needless to say. But this is an important game for both teams. We've been talking about it. The buzz around here, the women's side of the brackets may have more impact in this one in terms of Montclair being undefeated this season so far. But at the same time, they want to host games. They can't. New Jersey currently has a ban, and Terry Small, the NJAC commissioner, just walked by to shake our hand. So maybe we'll have him on at halftime to discuss where we are on that whole situation. But basically, a school like Ramapo or a school like Rutgers-Newark will not be able to host any more games after tonight, at least on the men's side. Women's side, I think, is also done tomorrow night, so this weekend is it. Whether or not they can technically host elsewhere outside the state's another question, but they can't host in this beautiful facility we're in here, the Bradley Center, and yet they want to be able to still have high seeds. So the winning this game, whether or not these teams are automatically going to be in the tournament based on where they currently are in the regional rankings, they definitely want to win this game.
Definitely. I mean, if you look at it from Ramapo's standpoint, yes, they do definitely want to win this game. If they were to lose, their chances of getting in are still pretty high. On the other side of things, for Rutgers-Newark, they definitely want to win this game. I mean, for them, there's too many obstacles. There's too many variables in the way for them not to come out and try and win this game. Both teams definitely want to win this, and their goal is to definitely win this. I mean, it goes a long way.
Yeah, and one thing to think about, Rutgers-Newark with a loss would not be assured of getting in. Remember, there is a team ahead of them in number 2, and let's say Ramapo wins, they're in. But in terms of how they go about picking the Pool C at-large bids in the NCAA Division III men's basketball bracket, it's basically each region gets a team on top of the list, and until the team above you is gone, or teams, you are not considered. So they need to win this game to have the assuredness they're there, but you don't want to be in the bubble this time of year. You want to take care of things yourself. It happens in Division I, it happens in Division II, it happens in Division III the same way. Be in control of your own fate with these conference championships, and here's one such situation. And just a little while ago, not too long ago, this Rutgers-Newark team did split the season series with Ramapo after kind of losing badly here earlier, basically late last year, I think it was. Rutgers-Newark team can beat Ramapo. They did it at Rutgers-Newark.
Definitely. I mean, but then again, there's that caveat that you just said there. They did it at Rutgers-Newark, and playing here at the Bradley Center, it's a different atmosphere, as you said again earlier. Ramapo blew them out here when they played them last time, and they're looking for the same exact thing to happen this go around.
You can see the clock and scoreboard at the top of your screen. We'll have a little bit of a head popping through there every so often as we're kind of on floor level, which we enjoy ourselves here. Being on floor level gets us as part of the action. Referees come by, give us fist pumps and whatnot, and we feel like we're actually playing the game for a half a second here, and they haven't seen our jump shots apparently. But nonetheless, we are going to tip off here in about 5 minutes. The introduction's coming up, so we will kind of be quiet during those. But nonetheless, you are watching D3Hoops.com's presentation of the NJAC Men's Basketball Championship on Ustream.tv, and we always appreciate Ustream hosting our events from D3Hoops.com. We'll have hopefully some more stuff for you, not necessarily hosted by D3 Hoops later on, but some other schools, a lot of streaming going on during the tournament starting next weekend, so you'll be wanting to go to the NCAA.com website to see who's hosting what and streaming what around that time, and maybe we'll be involved, maybe we won't. We'll see what happens here, but like we said, if Ramapo wins here, there's a good chance they could be put into a hosting position for at least 1 week, but it won't be in the state of New Jersey. It'll probably be across the border in New York, where they have at least put in a bid to host things over in New York, which the NCAA will allow, and we'll see how that turns out. That's still an open question. It will be an open question probably for a few days.
It definitely will. And right now, I mean, again, it hurts this Ramapo team. Not even only Ramapo, but teams in the New Jersey area that really have great facilities like this and want to have their fans come out, but having to travel a long way for a D3 school, it is pretty tough.
Yeah, Montclair is kind of in a worse position than Ramapo, since it's kind of just across the river, or just across the border for Ramapo, a couple miles away. Montclair not so fortunate in that position. They'd have to travel a bus out a little bit of ways. Let's go over the planned starters here, and they are announcing them as we speak right now here in the Bradley Center. For Ramapo, the number 1 seed, you have number 2, Will Sanborn. He's a senior guard, 6'1", 200 from Red Bank, New Jersey. Number 3, one of the tri-captains for the team, Anthony LaRusso. He's part of the tournament team from 2 years ago. Lost to Johnson Wales in the first round here at the Bradley Center in 2011. He's a senior guard, 6'11", 195 from Mount Wide, New Jersey. We're going to pause for the national anthem and come back here on D3Hoops.com. And we are back here on D3Hoops.com on Ustream.tv, your source for tonight's NJAC Men's Basketball Championship game. We understand, by the way, that there is a team crowd bus that came from Rutgers-Newark, or is on its way. So the crowd here is going to be pretty large tonight if it's anything like Tuesday night when Ramapo won against William Patterson, which, granted, William Patterson is right down the street when you think about the geography of New Jersey, so I'm sure there were a lot of people from both teams appearing here. So let us go now to the rest of the starting lineup. We left off on Anthony LaRusso, the senior guard. Number 15, Elgin Brown. He's a senior forward, 6'4", 205 from Jersey City, New Jersey. 24, another of the tri-captains, Garrett Thiel, a senior guard, 6'2", from Middletown, New Jersey, and another senior-laden team that remembers how to get to the tournament in the first place. Number 33, Stefan Treadwell, senior forward, 6'5", from Newark, New Jersey. For Rutgers-Newark, trying to find uncharted territory here under Coach Joe Loughran. You have number 5, John Snow, a sophomore guard, 6'0", from Newark, New Jersey. Number 10, Doze Ikwebu, a sophomore guard, 6'3", from Union, New Jersey. 22, Christian Garcia, a sophomore guard slash forward, 6'2", from Freehold, New Jersey. So 3 sophomores right there for you. Number 31, Fatine Belfield, senior forward slash center, 6'8", from Irvington, New Jersey. We'll talk about size in a moment here. And 41, Hussein Abdelmaksud, a senior center slash forward, 6'6", from West New York, New Jersey. Reggie, you look at the heights here, 6'0", 6'3", 6'2", 6'8", 6'6", for the Scarlet Raiders, and then 6'1", 6'1", 6'4", 6'2", 6'5", for Ramapo. And you see a little bit of size advantage for Rutgers-Newark in this game.
Well, again, I mean, coming into this game, this is one of their things that they do. They play very good defense. Another team that's going to put up a lot of points is Rutgers-Newark. They're a team that plays defense, who wants to control the pace of the game, kind of slow it down a bit. They don't want to run up and down the court. And that's not a tempo that Ramapo plays up and down, but they'd rather get out and score on the fast break points. And Rutgers-Newark is going to look to take advantage of their size to kind of dominate on the glass, to kind of slow the game down.
Absolutely. The one thing we did point out, though, we were talking about on our way up here, the 5 starters, double-digit averagers for Ramapo each game, or on average in the games this season. However, after that, the bench, there's really not much scoring from the bench players. They live and die by their starters here, and they are all seniors, but not much from the underclassmen on this year's team for Ramapo.
And we were talking about this earlier, as you said. Ramapo, again, uses all their 5 starters, and those are the main scorers for their team. And if one of those players were to get, let's say, foul trouble or to get tired as the season progresses, difficulties can occur, as Ramapo, before their last win against William and Patterson, lost 2 out of 3.
So we are getting ready here for the tip-off. And again, you'll want to stay with us here, especially if you're watching in case you're a bubble team member. You may be watching saying we didn't control our own fate the way we should have, and now we have to wait for the NCAA's decision. Terry Small, NJAC commissioner, is one of the members of the NJAC, though he does have to abstain when it comes to NJAC teams. That's the way it works. Conflicts of interest are stamped out in these processes, so don't think that the cards are stacked against you because of that. Nonetheless, you may be watching thinking what needs to happen. And again, Ramapo wins. It's going to be close between Rutgers-Newark and the rest of the Pool C bubble. If Rutgers-Newark wins, Ramapo most likely is in on the bubble, and one less bubble team gets in that thought maybe they had a chance going into tonight. That's what's at stake here for the teams on the floor, and maybe you if you're watching from a school that doesn't know their own fate coming up here. Ready for a tip-off here. It's going to be Treadwell versus Belfield. The ball is going to be out of bounds and be Ramapo ball. Starting already with some aggressiveness here, Reggie, and now Ramapo will try to ride that home crowd.
Definitely. I mean, when I walked in here, I heard a fan bus. I heard this is a great place to play, and this place is getting packed pretty quickly, and I see the students are out.
LaRusso dribbling near the timeline right now. And it is out to Treadwell. Back around now. LaRusso driving the left side of the baseline, but he stepped on that baseline, and it will go to Rutgers-Newark.
It looks like there's a pretty decent Rutgers-Newark crowd here making some noise.
Well, I would call it, looking around here, about 3/4 filled or so, 5/8 to 3/4, and we still got people streaming in here, so it's going to be a packed house by the time we get to the 10-minute mark. If you're not here already and you're watching on campus, come on over. It's going to be a fun time here tonight, no matter who wins. In the meantime, Ikwebu has the ball, and it's knocked away off the thigh of number 5, John Snow. So it's Ramapo ball, 29 seconds into the game, as you can see tonight from the top of your screen with the scoreboard superimposed on your screen.
And Sambo right there playing pretty aggressive defense there, trying to stop the ball from getting into Ikwebu there, but did a good job there.
Treadwell finds underneath Elgin Brown, who he over-pursued, though, and rebound foul against, I believe, Treadwell, and Abdul Maksud was fouled in the process of getting the rebound. He is no short player at 6'6", and he looks all 6'6" of it.
The Academy Awards is this weekend, and I think he sold that to the officials there because they did not call that as it happened.
What category does that fall under?
Best supporting actor.
There you go. 50 seconds now into this game. Still no score. Ball knocked away. Stays Rutgers-Newark ball. If from time to time I do just call it Newark as it is on the scoreboard, please forgive me. But it's tough to get all that out of your mouth and still call the plays. But we will call them Newark from time to time. But they are fully known as Rutgers-Newark campus, just like Rutgers-Camden campus also has a team in the NJAC. Garcia hands it back out to Snow. Snow sends it around to Ikwebu. 15 on the shot clock. Ikwebu wants to drive over LaRusso. He'll take the shot off the back of the rim. Rebound taken down by Garcia. Driving back in was Ikwebu, but he'll hand it off to Abdul Maksud. And the ball knocked out of bounds. Goes back to Ramapo. We are still scoreless. 1 minute and 14 seconds into this game.
Now you wonder right now with both teams right now not really getting their offense going, if there's a bit of the nerves right now. This is the championship game. There's a lot at stake right now. They haven't really seemed like they're firing on all cylinders right now.
LaRusso sent it over to Theo. Theo wants to drive. Triple team forms inside. Off the back of the rim on the shot. Rebounded by number 5, John Snow. Snow driving. And trying to cross past the three-point line toward the key. Takes a shot. It's in. We have a score. Rutgers-Newark up 2-0.
And right there, good job by Snow. Going to the bucket, pulling up for the jump shot. If he's not going to be stopped, why not take the open jumper?
Russo handed over to Sanborn. Sanborn, leading scorer for many games this season, is called for the charge. Back to Rutgers-Newark, and that will be, I believe, the third team foul. No, second team foul. They have it on the board already. And the first foul called against Sanborn.
And right there, Sanborn trying to start something here, noticing that his team has started out flat, trying to start something, but unfortunately, he ran into another defender there for the foul.
Well, Sanborn averages 14.9 points per game, so obviously he's a workhorse just like the rest of the 5 starters for this team. Now on the other end, it's Christian Garcia. Garcia back out to Ikwebu, Ikwebu wants to drive. He's got a man behind him, and he puts it up and in. Elgin Brown couldn't do much there on defense. He was trailing. LaRusso sends it down to Thiel. Thiel wants to take a long shot. It's a 2, but it misses from the back of the rim. And Abdul Maksud is the rebounder. Going the other way, it's stolen away now by Thiel. But we have a scrum for the ball and a foul call. Let's see which way they call this, though. It's against number 22, Christian Garcia of Rutgers-Newark, teams first.
And right there, again, coming down on the other end there for Ramapo, they just don't seem to be going well on offense right now, either forcing shots that they don't have or passing it when they have an open shot right now. And I'm still wondering if it's nerves that are getting to them.
We'll see what happens here as we continue this first half, and maybe a timeout gets utilized to calm things down at some point, too. It's 4-0 Newark, and here's Sanborn driving, but forgetting the ball in the paint. Garcia sends it over to Snow. Check that, Ikwebu. Now it's going to be a long shot by Garcia. 4-2. It's a long 2. Timeout. Ramapo down 6-0. It's a 30-second timeout, so this is essentially the use it or lose it timeout. And we'll give you a little sense of the crowd here that you can see for Ramapo and Rutgers-Newark here tonight at the Bradley Center.
And right now, again, starting out this game right now, Rutgers-Newark has it right where they want it. They're playing that solid defense they have. They've been rebounding, doing a very good job there of getting the rebounds. And so far for Ramapo, they haven't been able to get their shots to fall. They seem either confused, whether they want to take the shots, drive the lane, or pass the ball. And good job there by the coach of Ramapo, taking that timeout, trying to settle his team down, noticing he doesn't want this game to get out of hand early.
Back to our overhead shot here with 17-11 left first half, 6-0 in favor of Rutgers-Newark. And we are back to action. LaRusso with the ball crossing the timeline. He'll be guarded closely by Ikwebu. He'll send it off now to Thiel. Inside, that's Brown trying to put it up and in. Timeout worked pretty well, and Chuck McBreen, he's been around for a little while. He knows how to utilize his timeouts.
And Chuck McBreen has really started something really amazing here at Ramapo. In all his years here, they've only missed the playoffs 3 times.
Ikwebu over to Snow on the right side. He'll come back to the top of the arc. Now it's over to Garcia. Way down inside. A lot of control scenario, but they do reclaim the ball. Snow puts it up off the back of the rim. Rebound missed as well. Ball being batted around, out of bounds. And the referees are going to have a conference and say it will stay Rutgers-Newark ball. Patine Belfield was the player that missed that shot. And we'll go back here and show you a little bit of a replay here. And you can see that ball getting batted around after the shot right there. We'll go back to live action in a moment. It looks like it was the right call, in fact. Back live now. And that's a missed shot by Rutgers-Newark. Coming down the other end. LaRusso stops and is going to be called. I think there's a foul being called on Ikwebu, maybe. Either that or they're going to say it's out of bounds off his leg, and that was LaRusso trying to draw that out of bounds scenario once he was up in the air and it had nothing to do with the ball at that point.
Usually, I'm shocked LaRusso didn't take that jump shot there. He had an open look. And that's that maybe nervousness getting to them here.
I think you're right there. Thiel from the left side, starting to drive into the paint, but he picked up his dribble, send it over to Brown. 17 on the shot clock, 16:05 game clock. Brown puts it in, count it, and the foul. Kind of just a tender shot there, but he got it to fall.
Right now it looks like Ramapo is trying to run their offense through Elgin Braun right now, one of their better scorers on the team and also one of their top rebounders.
Watch that one more time there. He had a nice little scoop shot he put in, and that was good. So we'll go back to live action. And here's the free throw. It is going to roll in and make it a 6-5 ball game. 5 unanswered now by Ramapo after going down 6-0 in this game. Coming down the other end, it's Snow. Snow being guarded closely by Sanborn, trying to drive. He had double team, but the man underneath was not open for long. Shot was missed by Abdul Maksud. On the other end, Sanborn puts it up and in. Ramapo has the lead, 7-6 in this NJAC Men's Basketball Championship. And a whistle, ball had gone back into the gallery area, so they stopped play. It is not a timeout, just an official's stoppage here, and they will resume here with a 7-6 score in favor of Ramapo.
And right there, Ramapo does what they like to do. They like to get out and probably score. Not as much as most teams, but they do like to get out and score quickly.
A little bit of a press being put on here. Akwebu does get across the timeline with 5 seconds to spare, though. 15 and a half minutes left here in the first half, and the ball almost knocked away. Garcia recontrols. Boy, some aggressive defense by Ramapo suddenly, and Snow reclaims the ball. Driving down the baseline, it's a block by Treadwell. Going down the other end, Sanborn, it's a one-on-none if he pursues, but it's a great job by Akwebu to get back in time and block it out of bounds. Still Ramapo ball, but great recovery.
Right there, Sanborn, that's the fault on Sanborn right there. He had an open layup, and he took his sweet time getting to the bucket there. But again, credit Akwebu there. He really got to the bucket really quickly there.
Now here's something you won't see much of tonight from Ramapo. Bench players coming in for Rutgers-Newark right now. And namely Mark Mormon and Aldan Muhammad, I believe, are the 2 players I just saw come across our table area. So back to Axel LaRusso to inbound the ball, try and get it off, and he does to Sanborn by the timeline area. Back out to LaRusso, who realized he needed to get out and play point here. 25 on the shot clock. Sanborn trying to drive down the right baseline. He'll take the shot and miss it. Rebound by Garcia for Rutgers-Newark. Down the other end, it's Akwebu. He'll face off against LaRusso here. Under 15 left first half. Ball knocked away well by Garrett Thiel. No TV timeouts or media timeouts here because we are not an official commercial-based program, and nobody else has requested it. In the NCAA tournament, there most likely will be TV timeouts or media timeouts utilized, just for those who are wondering. And still some trouble controlling the ball by Rutgers-Newark. And I'm not sure what that stoppage was.
I think the official wanted to reset the time there, the shot clock.
Maybe, but yeah, I think you're right. And he's saying we're ready for play here on the other end, so we will just continue. Inbound coming up for Rutgers-Newark. Garcia sent it into Akwebu. So now it is Akwebu driving toward the right side with LaRusso covering him tightly. Back out to Batista. Check that. That's Mormon, excuse me. And Muhammad has the ball kicked by Ramapo. 14 and a half minutes left here in this first half. 18 on the shot clock, and Rutgers-Newark will still have the ball.
Ramapo doing a very good job now of switching their defenses right now, trying to stay with extending their defense out a little bit more, frustrating Rutgers-Newark.
It's been a while since we've seen a score by Rutgers-Newark, about 3 minutes or so right now. They were up 6-0, now it's 7-6 for those just joining us. And they're going to call player control foul against Rutgers-Newark, saying a screen was set, I believe, an illegal screen. And that is Mark Mormon with his first, third for the team for Rutgers-Newark. Officials are trying to take some tight control of this game pretty early on, but, you know, they don't want to lose control of a very emotional game, and that's what this is, I would call it, just from what we knew coming in with LaRusso missing the 3 from the front of the rim. Going down the other end, nice grab by Akwebu, but he lost it, puts it back up and in, and breaks the scoreless streak. But the emotion of this game, you can feel it a little bit.
Right, and right there for Rutgers-Newark, that was the first fast break opportunity they've had all game. Usually a rare opportunity for them, but they'll take advantage of it.
Now it's Brown. Picked up, I believe, his dribble there, so LaRusso has to help him out. Back in the corner now to Thiel. Outside, Treadwell has it off the back of the rim, rebounded by Garcia for Rutgers-Newark. Coming down the other end, it's going to be Muhammad taking the 3, missing it off the back of the rim, and rebounded by Brown. Fast-paced action here, but he couldn't find Treadwell on the other end, so it's Rutgers-Newark ball. 13:32 left first half, excuse me. My football mentality still playing in here. 8-7, Rutgers-Newark.
That was a bad idea right there by Garrett Thiel right there. As getting down the court for number 33 there, Stephen Treadwell, he was guarded by 2 guys. Even if he would have catched that in stride, it would have been tough for him to kind of put that up and make a shot.
You can see, again, the crowd has filtered in very well here. Well over three-quarters packed now in the Bradley Center. Back to action, 13 and a half minutes left here, first half, 1 point game. I don't think we're going to see many major runs by either team that'll take this thing into double digits either way, but we'll see what happens here. They're playing a fast-paced game, to say the least, as we have Mormon at the top of the arc. The ball goes off foot, and it's going to be claimed by Ramapo. And going down the other way, they're not going to call the intentional against Muhammad, but it was pretty close. He was kind of riding Elgin Brown's hands or arms in a way that was not going to allow him to go up with it at all. But luckily, Brown didn't jump and try to take him with him, so he will get a two-shot foul here in the process. Fourth team foul.
No, I'm not sure if Brown decided to slow up there on himself, knowing he probably would have gotten fouled, but that's the second time in a row that Ramapo had points on the board there that they didn't put up.
73% free throw shooter is Brown. And that first one is good. 8-8, we have a tie. 6 points for Brown out of the 8 for Ramapo tonight. Second free throw coming up. And it is no good off the back of the rim. Rebound by Rutgers-Newark. Coming down the other end. It's going to be, well, Ikwebu now has it after his teammate had fallen down, but passed it in time. Back out now to Muhammad. Sends it to the left, and Garcia. Now inside. That is a miss by Azaro. Putback is good, though, by Mormon. And that'll make it 10-8 in favor of Newark. On the other end, though, a three. Miss out the front of the rim by Sanborn. And rebounded by Mormon. He's all over the place here.
And it looks like the size for Rutgers-Newark coming to play right now.
Down the other end, that's going to be Muhammad trying to drive. Pass at the last second, and count him in the foul for David Azaro. The freshman forward just inserted into this game, and he'll make it a 12-8 game with a chance to make it a 5-point lead with the free throw.
Now, if you look at it, for Ramapo, they went on an 8-2 run to kind of tie the lead back up right now. It looks like Rutgers-Newark is trying to get things going after those two substitutions they made.
Azaro from the free throw stripe is 70%, and he makes it. It's 13-8, 12:23 remaining here in the first half. Out of control player. They're going to say he carried the ball. Will Sanborn in that case. I think probably a right call there. Take a quick look at it, see if we can catch it. And one more time. There we caught a little early. Tough to tell. It looked like it may have switched hands up a little bit or gotten knocked away, but he may have done it himself. Tough to tell, and that's the referee called what he saw. Foul situation 4-3 against Rutgers-Newark, the 4 and 3 against Ramapo. Nobody in the bonus quite yet here with 12:19 to go, first half.
Right there, Will Sanborn for Ramapo had 3 possessions in a row there where he either turned it over or put up a bad shot.
Now on the other end, Mormon passed back out to Garcia. Over to Azaro. Dribbling down with it is Bunch. Bunch puts it up off the side of the rim, tries to get his own rebound, can't get it, and it's taken over by Thiel. Thiel to O'Connell, who's inserted into this game just recently for Ramapo. And O'Connell trying to dribble, and finally gives it up to Thiel. Thiel around to LaRusso. 19 on the shot clock. LaRusso wants to drive, but he's got 3 men in front of him here. Close man-to-man being played here. Rutgers-Newark, it looks like, and they're sticking well. Screen can't set up in time, but in the meantime, Treadwell is trying to dribble in from the left side of the baseline, missing with 6 on the shot clock. Putback is missed as well, and it's Rutgers-Newark ball trying to build on their run.
That was a good possession there by Ramapo that just could not get the bucket to fall.
On the other end, not a control shot, but he made it. Aldon Muhammad makes it a 7-0 run here, and another timeout by Ramapo. Now they're actually eating into their real timeouts here. The user to loser was used earlier by Chuck McBreen. This one counts against him for the rest of the game. Or no. Well, let's see here. Yeah, it was an indication for a timeout, and it will remain so.
And right now, as Ramapo calls that timeout, they're trying to kind of calm things down after tying the game back up. Now, Rutgers-Newark has gone on a 7-0 run, pretty much to take a quick lead here, 15-8. And Ramapo understands how big this game is and how far this game can go for them. So they're trying to kind of, Coach Chuck McBreen here is trying to calm things down, get his team situated, and trying to find out what's happening.
Replay's a little herky-jerky here. We'll apologize for that, but you'll see that shot coming up, kind of that out of control, just heave it up there, shot, and it fell, and that led to the timeout. So we'll go back to live action with, hey, hello crowd, how you doing there? So far, 11:15 left here in this first half and a 15-8 score. The team that's had the runs that have really mattered most so far has been Rutgers-Newark to set the pace of the game. Chuck McGreen took the timeout last time. They scored 7 unanswered points to take the lead back, did Ramapo. Now let's see if this timeout does the same thing for his team, as Martin's also in the game on 2 whistles ago. Hands it over to O'Connell. O'Connell wants to drive, but he has to push it back out. And Martins is going to drive to the right side of the baseline. He over-pursued, stepped on the baseline, and it's out of bounds to Rutgers-Newark. Got to learn to put up that shot, Reggie.
Again, John Martins should be putting up that shot. He shoots 40% from the three-point line, one of the best on the team, and I'm shocked he didn't take that shot.
Well, he didn't, and they pay for it, or paying for it here, obviously. So let's see if what happens here on the inbounds coming up here. Looks like a little press maybe being played here by Ramapo, but they do seem to call off, and it's going to be easily crossing the timeline. Rutgers-Newark. Bunch gave up the ball over to Snow. Snow drives, double team drawn, but he still gets it over that double team, right over the hands of Elgin Brown. 17-8 now.
Rutgers-Newark has had 2 runs of 9-0 and 8-0 runs to start this game.
Keith Benthal, is in the game, number 11 for Ramapo as well. Treadwell, he's been quiet here. 1 foul, no points in this game. Tries to leave for O'Connell. 15 on the shot clock. He'll drive, kick it out. The shot taken by Benthal, misses everything. 10 on the shot clock still. Ball's controlled by Theo, but he's in trouble. It's out of bounds. Remains Ramapo ball, but 6 seconds on the shot clock here. And we'll have some substitutions with Sanborn and LaRusso both coming back in, probably for O'Connell and for Benthal specifically. With 6 on the shot clock, you want LaRusso probably to post up and try to get ready for a shot.
And it's interesting, we to start the game, we said how Ramapo doesn't substitute much. They've gone through at least 4 or 5 substitutions here to start the game, and Chuck McBreen is trying to find anything that works.
But all 8 points are still on the floor for Ramapo. And it is taken near the timeline. This is going to be Sanborn with 2 on the shot clock. Bank is open. 17-10 breaks the, I believe, 9-0 run by Newark. Down the other end, Rutgers-Newark has the ball knocked out of bounds, but it will remain their ball with 26 on the shot clock. We're under 10 minutes left here in the first half.
And right now what Ramapo has to do is kind of calm themselves, control themselves, not try and do too much right there. Good job there by Sanford, taking the ball to the bucket.
Down or trying to hit the 3 was Muhammad. He'll miss again. He's 0 for 2 tonight from 3-point land. And down the other end, Russo had fed it eventually down to Treadwell. Underneath, the triple team can't get there in time, and Treadwell gets his first points of the night. It's 17-12, Newark.
Again, good job there by Ramapo, slowing things down, trying to set their offense to get things going.
Down the other end, we have a travel situation being called against number 45, David Azaro. And it's back to Ramapo on a 4-0 mini run right now. Let's see if they can keep their streak alive. But notice it's their starters back in doing this.
Definitely.
No press being shown here by Rutgers-Newark, so LaRusso will have free reign to the timeline with about 3 seconds to go before it would have been a problem. Thiel with the ball on the right side. He'll hand it off to Sanborn. Sanborn wants to drive. He begins to. He puts it up off the side of the rim. Rebound eventually by Hussein Abdelmaksud back in the game. Down the other way. It's Bunch. Abdelmaksud playing out of position right now, so he'll get underneath while Snow tries to do something with the ball. Abdelmaksud from the left side. Maybe partially blocked there, and it's controlled by Ramapo. It'll be a pass down to, they're going to call a charge against Stefan Treadwell. Let's see if we agree with that one on this one as we take a look at that replay coming down. And you'll see the pass down to Treadwell. Tough to tell the legs are set there.
It looked like Treadwell was going down before, not Treadwell, I'm sorry.
His defender was going down.
Going down before he even got to him, but again, it's the ref's call.
8:51 remaining here first half. 5-point lead for the Scarlet Raiders of Rutgers-Newark. Mini press going on here. Sanborn, though, kind of releasing his man. He's got 3 seconds to get across and does so. That's John Snow. Snow hands it off over and now back outside to Muhammad. Muhammad with 20 on the shot clock. Drawing a double team outside. Looks like a 2-3 zone being played right now by Ramapo. Missed shot controlled by Belfield, or check that, by Brown. And on the other end, basket made by number 2, Will Sanborn. He has 6 points, matching the team's lead right now with 6.
And that's 8 fast break points this half for Ramapo.
Down the other end, another turnover for Rutgers-Newark. It's controlled by Elvani Poole, who's in the game for Ramapo. And a foul called against number 24, it looks like, Raheem Bunch. His first, team's 5th. Still no bonus with 8 minutes left here.
And as you look at it now for Rutgers-Newark, it seems interesting how this game is going as the score now 17-14 in favor of Rutgers-Newark. Both teams go on mini runs where both teams kind of find their spurs and then lose it and then find it again, and keeps going back and forth.
Well, it is a 6-0 run by Ramapo right now. LaRusso wants to extend that. Sanborn almost sees it stolen away, but he'll put up a 3 and hit the 3. He ties it up. It's a 9-0 run, responding to Rutgers-Newark's 9-0 run.
Sanborn's a very streaky player, but right now he's on one of those hot streaks, hitting 5 points in a row.
Muhammad sees it stolen away. That's Poole, and he'll wait for his team smartly. It was a 1-on-2 if he pursued. Instead, they'll control the ball. Sanborn driving. He picked up his dribble, but he sends it underneath. It's in. Elgin Brown. Timeout being called by Rutgers-Newark. They are down on an 11-0 run right now.
Good job there by Sanborn. I thought he was going to take a wild shot there as there were 2 guys guarding him, but he found Brown under the basket for the easy layup.
See that last play. Nice job. Nice feed in. You can see the Ramapo players getting a shot excited. Can't fault them one bit there. And we're going to go back to the crowd shot here. Actually, one thing I do want to show folks is our scoreboard shot to show the foul situation especially. And you can see 5 team fouls against Newark, 4 against Ramapo. Nobody with more than 1 that's on the floor currently for either team. And you can see actually it is visible enough to see the points for our Ramapo players. 9 points for Sanborn, 8 points for Elgin Brown. I can tell you that on the floor right now, number 5, John Snow with 4 points leads all floor players right now for Rutgers-Newark. Back to our original shot here, so you can see some people who decided to lose their shirt at some point tonight in the crowd.
I think they came in that way.
I hope not for their sake. It is not warm outside, and be careful this weekend, folks, on this coast. There is a storm coming through, and you don't want to be a part of that. You can see they're giving away T-shirts right now, throwing them into the crowd. People jumping up and down and grabbing those. But let's get back to basketball here, because Ramapo has an 11-0 run they're on right now after Newark's 9-0 run. Basically, we've had only one little stretch where teams traded baskets. Now we're trading runs the entire game, it feels like.
Again, to start the game, both teams could not find their offense, and after about, the 17-minute mark, both teams start to go on their own mini runs there, and Ramapo's on their own at the moment.
Again, Ramapo wins, they're in, and Rutgers-Newark has to sweat out Selection Monday to a certain degree. If Rutgers-Newark wins, Ramapo most likely in as a Pool C bid. Both teams will likely go into the playoffs next week into the NCAA bracket. There's a whistle inside, a foul being called, it looks like against number 21, Elvani Poole. He's listed as the center for his team at 6'5". That's a short center when you think about it in Division III basketball even. But nonetheless, Elvani Poole nailed with a foul, his team's 5th. So still neither team in the bonus with 7:15 left here first half. In the meantime, Garcia sends it over to Belfield. Now back out to Lakwebu. He's in trouble though by the timeline. They're going to call a foul against Elgin Brown. I'm not so sure about that one, Reggie.
I'm not sure either. It looks to me that
and it's tough to see from our shot there if it was or wasn't. But it's team foul number 6, so it's a non-shooting foul as we go back to live action here with 7:05 left in the first half. 19-17 Ramapo lead, but 11-0 run is still intact here for Ramapo. Snow being pushed again toward the timeline. And the ball is knocked away by LaRusso. He's on the ground, still on the floor. It's Ramapo ball. 6:51 left, and a fresh 35 now for Ramapo.
Great job there by Anthony LaRusso for Ramapo, getting on the floor there to kind of deflect that pass away.
And the aforementioned LaRusso is going to cross the timeline with the ball, it looks like. And he does so by passing it to Thiel. Thiel is going to put it up a long two. In and out. Rebound. Almost got his own rebound there, but he pushed it instead into Bellfield's hands. Coming down the other end, it's Ikwebu. 6.5 minutes left, first half. Belfield kind of out of position right now, looking for a little help up top. Now it's going to be a shot by Garcia. Misses everything. And a block. A big block by Poole. Ball. Another shot was taken, but it missed everything. And we have a whistle. It looks like was a foot on the baseline. And you can hear coach for Rutgers-Newark, Joe Loughran, getting a little upset on our crowd microphone in front of us, saying game should have continued in his opinion. They're going to say it was a foot on the baseline, but it was Ramapo touching it to achieve this situation. Referee explained it to coach, and we're going to get back to action. They're going to wipe up the floor a little bit, obviously, here.
I think what he explained to the coach was that his play was on the ground, so they had to stop time for that. That's why they didn't continue the action.
Unusual when you're already in the act on that side of the floor that they will blow the whistle for that. In the meantime, it's Garcia from the right side of the baseline, putting it in and breaking the 11-0 run. We have a tie. It's 19 apiece. Down the other end, ball is going to be out of bounds. Back to Rutgers-Newark.
That's the third time there. Ramapo has tried to outlet really quickly, and they've thrown it out of bounds now.
So 6:08 remaining, first half, 19 apiece. So far, the pacing, I would say, is in Rutgers-Newark's favor in terms of the scoreboard. You know, we were talking earlier, Ramapo would like to score the high 70s per game. I think Rutgers-Newark would do better not getting it that high in the air in terms of score. That's what they did against Richard Stockton the other night in a low-scoring win. Here's a foul being called against Ramapo. This is the seventh team foul, but it's a shooting foul no matter what, and it's against number 20 for Ramapo, John Martins.
That's a good job there by the shooter, number 45, David Azoro. Seeing that the shooter, the defender had his hands up, tried to kind of create contact there to get the bucket up.
Azoro, as I said earlier, 70% free throw shooter. He, I believe, is 1 for 1 tonight, and now make it 2 for 2. And Rutgers-Newark has the lead back now at 20-19. Lead changes galore in this game. The lead has changed now, I believe it is 4 times in this game officially, with 3 ties. Second is good. He's 3 for 3 from the free throw stripe. LaRusso and Ramapo look to respond here, down by 2. He'll hand it off to Sanborn. Sanborn from 3. He hits it. Looked like he got a little bit of the backboard there on its way in, and he still made it. Ramapo makes it 5 lead changes in this game now.
Wow. He took that shot from, I think, the Jersey Shore. I mean, way downtown.
In the meantime, inside, Azaro has that one roll in. 6 lead changes now between these teams. It's like a heavyweight bout starting to form here. Sanborn tries to find Poole. Poole loses control, out of bounds. It is off Rutgers-Newark, they say. Coach Loughran does not agree, and he's walking away from the referee as he hollers he didn't touch it.
It looks like Doza Ikwebu did not touch that ball as it went. It looked like he tried to, but it just went under his fingertips there. And Coach Loughran might have an argument.
Out of our camera angle as I'm trying to see our own replay, so we will stick with live action. Thiel out to LaRusso. LaRusso wants to drive, it looks like. He almost faked the 3 there. Puts up a shot, and he's fouled. 6th-team foul against Rutgers-Newark. And in terms of people you don't want to necessarily foul on this team, I'm going to take a guess without even looking. LaRusso is a good free throw shooter. And at 81.5%, he is the best regular free throw shooter that they have on this team. 81.5%. He'll get 2 here. Trying to give another lead change here. That would be 7 if he's able to convert both, and he gets the first to tie it at 23.
All right there, good job there by LaRusso. Had nowhere to go really, and he tried to force up a shot there, and the Great Coup gave him a perfect opportunity by fouling him. if he would have just kept his hands straight up and wouldn't have fouled him, it would have been a turnover by Ramapo.
Second free throw is up. No good. We have another tie, and it's taken by Kwebu. 23 apiece. 4:53 left here. First half. It's the NJAC Men's Basketball Championship. And they're going to call a foul inside against Ramapo. Their 8th team foul. It's a 1-on-1 situation coming up here. And they're going to call against Elvani Poole, his second foul here. Backup roll from the bench. He's got 2 fouls. And shooting free throws is Hussein Abdelmaksud.
And it seems like Poole is having issues with
Abdelmaksud misses the free throw on the front of the 1-on-1. Tries to get it back up on his own rebound. And there'll be a foul going the other way now against Rutgers-Newark. Sorry to interrupt you there, Reggie.
No problem. Looks like Poole again is having issues with Abdelmaksud's height and length in the paint, in the post there. And they might have to change something there.
See what happens, but Abdelmaksud not exactly the most proficient free throw shooter. He's in the 60s in his percentage this season. Down the other end now, though, it's going to be Lauren Jackson for Ramapo shooting these free throws. Try to get you his stats here. Still looking for the 7th lead change of the game. And he will make that happen. He's a 70% free throw shooter. Team's pretty good overall, is Ramapo this season, and that's how you win your games down the stretch. You're 70.1%, which today's day and age is not that bad as a team. So it's 24-23, 7 lead changes in this game. I believe now 5 ties, I want to say, in it. Second free throw is up. No good off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Snow. Rutgers-Newark looking to take the lead back. Snow setting up a play. He'll give it to Muhammad. 4.5 minutes left here in the first half. Muhammad back by the timeline. Sends it over to Abdelmaksud, who's out of position again by the timeline, so he's got to get underneath to be effective. In the meantime, Azaro, did he walk there? Yes, he did. Azaro called for the travel, and Ramapo takes the ball over, up by 1.
Right there for Azaro. He had really no way to go with the basketball then. He was trying to force something that he didn't have, and unfortunately for him, committed a turnover.
But what's not helping, Abdelmaksud could help clear that lane with his size, or at least be underneath his tall presence. He's playing outside way too much, it looks like, on offense. He's got to get underneath for his team. In the meantime, the floater. It's a charge being called against Elvani Poole again, I believe, and that's his 3rd foul already here. If it is against him, and it is. 9 team fouls, but it's a player control foul. Therefore, it's a non-shooting situation, but Elvani Poole may have to sit now. Well, no, they're keeping him on the floor. Bench player or not, he's your center at 6'5", and they're going to stay with him here.
And Poole right there, he could have stopped short right there and tried to take an open jump shot. Instead, he tried to force something that he did not have, and that's an issue right now.
Kwebu over to Muhammad. Back over to Kwebu. We're still guarding him with 3:53 remaining here. And Abdelmaksud, that's what you can do if you're a big man underneath. Just put it right up and in. And that will be lead change number 8 in this game as Newark has the lead again. In the other end here, ball knocked away, but recontrolled by Thiel. Thiel waits for the 3 black jerseys near him to kind of go back underneath. And this man-to-man defense, Sanborn dribbling, loses his man, puts up the 3, misses it off the front of the rim. It's out of bounds. Rutgers-Newark ball. They lead by 1. 3:24 left here first half.
And the Rutgers-Newark bench is incensed right now as they thought there was an illegal pick there on Poole there as he took down number 23 for their team.
Well, they're hoping for the 4th foul.
Muhammad, yeah.
But Poole is now back on the bench. They did sit him after that whistle. Back out for Ramapo is John Martins. Kwebu against LaRusso. A nice feed in to Muhammad. He'll take an out-of-control shot again and hit it. 3-point lead, Newark. LaRusso sends it over to Sanborn. Thought about the 3, now backs back out into the paint. They're going to call a charge. I disagree with that one there, Reggie. Player did not set inside the paint.
Again, player did not set, that is true, but what the officials, I think, were looking at is Sanborn was a bit wild with his drive there, and any contact, I think, at any point when the player went down, I think they were going to call the offensive charge.
That was earlier. This is live right now. Didn't really have a good sight on that play. Work on that at halftime. Get just better views. Away from the bench a little bit. In the meantime, Abdelmaksud underneath and in. That's what I'm talking about. You stay underneath. You're going to be effective with your size. Timeout, Ramapo. 5-point lead on a 6-0 run by Newark.
Again, another mini spurt by both these teams. Newark is on another one right now, and a good pass right there by Abdul Muhammad getting inside. And as you said earlier, if Abdel Mahaksud can get into the post and be efficient there, because he is giving both teams, he's giving Ramapo size problems, he can score and put up points.
Alden Muhammad, Hussein Abdul Maksud. This is the all-name team for us here in D3Hoops.com, I think, tonight. They're having a little fun with this. Doze Ikwebu, that's another classic name right there. Let's see the crowd pretty well filled in here. Not quite standing room only, but it's you're going to have trouble finding seats for two if you're coming in late, that's for sure. And we'll go back out to our stats that just came in here. We have Terry Small, NJAC Commissioner, join us at halftime. We'll take a little break here, get our voices back, then talk to him about what it all means, what the committee's looking at right now to the degree he can tell us, and what the whole New Jersey rule does mean to the NCAA right now, how it's playing out as they're talking as committees each week, putting out regional rankings and discussing as RACs and the full committees do right now. So stay tuned at halftime. NJAC Commissioner Terry Small joining us. Looking at the stats right now, leading scorer for either team, it looks like Will Sanborn with 12 of his team's 24 points for Ramapo. But look at that spread out scoring for Rutgers-Newark. Nobody with more than 7 points, and 7 players with points overall.
It's interesting right there. That's one of the things that Rutgers-Newark does so well, is that they don't have one guy they can go to. They kind of spread it out.
Russo passes, and it is out of bounds. Rutgers-Newark ball on the 6-0 run and looking to extend. Here we go again. 2:37 left, first half. NJAC Men's Basketball Championship underway here in Mahwah, New Jersey, the Bradley Center. Frank Rossi, Reggie Bazile with you here. Enjoying the action in the crowd here. Snow has that ball blocked away by Martins, and going down the other end will be Lorusso. But it's a 2-on-4, so he smartly waits for his team. Back out now to Thiel. Thought about giving it to Sanborn, but he'll hold on to it. 25 on the shot clock. Sanborn wants to drive. Stops, sees a streaking player underneath. It's a foul against John Snow. Team's 8th. It'll be a 1-and-1 coming up for Thiel.
Good job there by Thiel. He saved Sanborn there as Sanborn was caught in the air, had no idea where to go with the basketball, and Thiel kind of opened up there under the basket, and he passed it to him.
Thiel is 73.7% free throw shooter for Ramapo, but it's a 1-and-1 situation. Down by 5, wants to make it 4-3 here, obviously. Very high arcing shot, makes it. 29-25. Make that 29-24, I believe. Did they put 2 points on the board? This is like deja vu to the last game you and I did, Reggie. You realize. I'll have to check that. Actually, I don't need to. It's right here, 29-24 it is. That is correct. And will remain that way. 29-25 in favor of Rutgers-Newark. Down the other end. It's Muhammad. Muhammad sends it inside. Abdul Maksud misses. Down, and Thiel has it. Crosses the timeline, thinks about driving, just hands it off instead of Martins. Back to Thiel to the left side of the baseline. Another charge being called.
And now, that I don't get why Thiel would drive baseline and try and create contact there. The officials for the first half have been calling that a charge every single time down the court. Why not stop and pop for a baseline jumper? Makes it so much easier for you.
Tough call there. That one was better in terms of charge category than the last one we had seen, where the player was going down before the contact even was established from where we were sitting. Abdul Maksud sends it out to Snow. Down back to Abdul Maksud. He is fouled. No, they're going to call the offensive foul going the other way now. Wow. Let's see it on replay. This one we should have for you. And you can see that one, tough one. We'll go one more time, see if we can't catch it. Player's upper body was moving, his feet were set. It really depends on how you want to translate the rule on that call.
It also looked like his feet were in that semicircle they have under the basket.
Yeah, maybe a good call there too. In the meantime, Thiel off the glass and in. It's 29-27. It's a 2-point game again. 8 lead changes in this game. We're approaching a 9th one here again after a mini run by Rutgers-Newark. Muhammad facing off against Thiel. 21 on the shot clock. Foul called against Ramapo. This will be a double bonus situation for Rutgers-Newark.
And right now, Ramapo, not having a great sizing advantage, have put John Martins on Abdul Mahaksud, and right there it shows another problem they have. When they go into the post to him, he's going to dominate whoever Ramapo throws at him.
Abdul Mahaksud will be going to the line for 2. He's, again, 64% free throw shooter. Missed the front of a 1-1 earlier, though, and misses the back side of the rim, or misses on the back side of the rim this time. Abdul Mahaksud has been the leading scorer about 3 times this season for his team. 20 points was the leading lead he had against Ramapo 4 games ago. He misses both. Ramapo, a chance to tie or take the lead with 1:04 left here in the first half. LaRusso wants it, and then has to throw it over to his teammate Thiel, out to Sanborn for a 3. It's missed off the back of the rim. Controlled by Azaro. Down the other way, Snow. Boy, it looked like it hit the referee, but it stays Rutgers-Newark ball. Travel called. He tried to call for a timeout, but he didn't get it in time. Ramapo ball.
And right there, it looked like he did actually call a timeout before he traveled, and he didn't get the call.
Referee by the half-court line in front of us had seen it otherwise. That's who made the call. 30 on the shot clock, 39 on the game clock. Thiel can't finish the job underneath. Abdul Mahaksud with the rebound. And the shot clock and the game clock are very much in sync right now. About a 0.6-second differential in the game clock. So both remain on, but it is actually a 0.9-second differential. 20 seconds. So you can basically see what the shot clock is by watching the game clock. But a foul called. Why does Thiel foul at the half-court line? Now giving him 2 free throws.
Right there, it's a mental mistake right there by Thiel. Pretty much, Newark is trying to play for the last shot right there, and he fouled him, giving him a chance for 2 easy buckets.
Shot clock now off for both teams, but first we're going to see 2 free throws. Muhammad will be. He is an 84% free throw shooter, and he'll make the first. This is not the person on that floor you wanted to foul. A team that shoots 67% as a team, and he's an 84% free throw shooter. It's back to 3 points. Muhammad, 3-time captain for a team, looks like, with 3 stars next to his name. Senior guard, 6'2". Second one, misses. Chance to tie before halftime. 13 seconds. Shot clock is off. Thiel needs to start moving here. He's not even approaching the timeline quickly. 8 seconds. Thiel begins to drive, comes back up, begins to drive again through the paint, tries to give it up. It's out of bounds. Rutgers-Newark ball. Thiel did not handle the ball well there in any capacity. What is going on there?
I'm shocked Will Sanborn didn't touch the ball. Best player on your team not taking the last shot of the half.
Abdul Mahaksud will inbound the ball with that height. Here's the shot. It's got a chance almost. Wow. You could see it from where we were sitting. It was on line. Nonetheless, Rutgers-Newark, 3-point lead. We're going to replay that shot for you real quick because one of our cameras did go dead upstairs, as you can see. And there is the shot, but didn't quite get the camera on, unfortunately.
And the Rutgers-Newark team thinks they had a foul there as Alden Muhammad threw up that shot, but they feel that Thiel bumped him on his way up with the shot, but nothing was called again.
Interesting. Nonetheless, we are going to be taking our own little timeout here, and we will come back in a little bit. But Reggie, overall, before we do transition here, what are your insights on the first half of what to tell your teams at halftime?
Well, again, it was a matter of runs for both teams. Both of them went on dramatic runs, whether it was a 9-0 run or an 8-0 run here or a 6-0 run here. For Rutgers-Newark, they got the pace of the game the way they wanted to go, kind of slow it down, play it slow. There were times when Ramapo was able to get out and run. But for Ramapo, you want to come out in the second half and probably run a little bit more, get the buckets going. For Rutgers-Newark, you want this game to continue to go at the pace that it's going right now because it's in your favor.
Yeah, absolutely right. So we're going to take a break here. 14 minutes at halftime. We'll come back in a couple minutes with Terry Small, NJAC Commissioner. Join us to talk about his seat on the committee and the NJAC in general here. It's 30-27 Rutgers-Newark in the lead in the NJAC Men's Basketball Championship. We'll be back here on D3Hoops.com on Ustream. Hey folks, we're back here. It is 30-27 at halftime in favor of Rutgers-Newark. I am Frank Rossi, in case you can't read it on the screen. And Terry Small joining us. He is the New Jersey Athletic Conference Commissioner, also a committee member for the NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Championship Committee. What you want to talk about first, my friend? NJAC basketball, NJAC in general, or the committee? I'm going to give you the choice.
I'm sworn to secrecy on the committee stuff. You know, I'll share what I can, but it's the greatest time of the year, isn't it, Frank? Every time I see your face, it means it's that time of year, which I know the Christmas song is "It's the most wonderful time of the year." Well, guess what? This is the most wonderful time of the year.
Terry, you get scared when you see me, though, during the tournament because NJAC teams are 0-3 with me in the building calling a first-round game, and Ramapo was one of those victims 2 years ago against Johnson Wales in the first round, I believe in overtime in that game. That was a great game and electric atmosphere here, just like tonight. Let's talk about NJAC basketball and the fandom around it right now. I know on the women's side, you've got Montclair trying to be an undefeated team in that tournament, and nonetheless, here you've got a pretty good competition going on, and maybe two teams getting into the tournament. Maybe we'll see what happens, but both these teams are very worthy teams here, Rutgers-Newark and Ramapo. Tell us about NJAC basketball, and though you lost a couple teams along the way over the years, or you're no longer in that two-division structure at least, things are still up and pretty active here.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's been a great year. I mean, Ramapo's been highly ranked in your poll, the D3 poll, and obviously number one in the region. And Rutgers-Newark's had an outstanding season. I think they're three in our region right now.
Yep.
They're sitting behind Old Westbury, who unfortunately got upset last night, or fortunately for the Farmingdale. If you're I don't want to take anything away from Farmingdale, who played a tremendous game if you watched it online.
Yep.
I don't know how selections are going to play out. Every year it's a little different. This is my fourth and final selection. Obviously, it's a brand new tournament format, which throws another wrinkle into it, this single game format over 3 weekends.
How challenging is that making life for the committee right now?
It's interesting. I mean, part of it, with the committee, we have 5 new members, which is kind of uncommon. Usually you have a little turnover. You have 2 new members, but this year we have 5 new members. We have our chair, Mike DeWitt, whose team is most likely going to be in contention. They're playing right now. I don't know what the score is.
So he may be off the call for a little while?
He'll probably be off the call. If his team is in the tournament, he can't have anything to do with seeding. So you're talking
hours.
Only 2 returning committee members, myself and Steve Ulrich, who is basically a sophomore on the committee. So,
yep.
Not to mention a new NCAA staff person, and Elisa Halpin, who's really done a tremendous job with us all year. But it's really...
What a challenge she had to walk into with the way things are shaping up this year with this tournament.
I can't say enough good things about Elisa. I mean, she's been tremendous. She comes from, obviously, the Division I world and is used to working the men's Division I tournament, but she's been great with our committee. Stepped right in for John Williams, and we've had a seamless year. And, throw in all these different variables of the different formats, and obviously playing in Atlanta, taking 8 teams to Salem. I mean, everything you can think of is different about this year. But back to the NJAC, I mean, it's been a great year. We're excited about this matchup. We're excited about tomorrow's matchup. I mean, we've got 1 and 2 in our men's tournament. We've got 1 and 2 in our women's tournament. 2 ranked teams. A Montclair team that is obviously had a tremendous season. Not to take anything away from William Patterson. I think they're 5th in the women's rankings.
Yep.
But last time I checked, all the teams above them were still in their tournament. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that maybe we get 2 in the women too.
Let's talk about something you and I talk about on my radio show I do during football season in the huddle, and that was about what I guess we call the New Jersey rule as far as the NCAA goes right now, because sportsbook betting is on the books right now, although I don't believe it's active yet in New Jersey because it's hit the state register, the law. Basically, New Jersey cannot host any NCAA sanctioned and sponsored event, which basically means any postseason event that is in the NCAA postseason bailiwick. These games aren't technically. These are NJAC games that are approved of by the NCAA, but the next step is the first round of playoffs, the bracket starting next weekend. Ramapo can't host in Ramapo, Mahwah, New Jersey, rather. But I've heard rumblings that they're trying to actually file for hosting maybe a couple miles down the road in Suffern or thereabouts. Explain how that works and the wrinkle that the NCAA did allow, at least for these Division III teams that were in Ramapo's type position, since, there are double the number of hosting sites this year for the first round.
They did make a compromise, and they said that we've always had the ability to host out of state, but the compromise was that they said that they would pay some of the travel expenses for even the host team to go out of state. So Ramapo, I believe, has put in a bid to host at NJAC College. Stevens Institute of Technology, for example, I was talking to Russ Rogers the other day, their AD, and I think they're contemplating a bid, or I'm not sure if they put it in, but they were looking to host at Lehman College, one of the CUNY schools. Other schools, Montclair did not choose to go down that road, so they're going to go on the road and play.
Boy, that's disappointing in terms of that, with the success that team has had on the women's side.
The difference in the women's tournament, though, again, at least in the first round, you would think they're going to play somebody on a neutral site game.
Yeah.
On the men's tournament, unfortunately, you have the perfect storm because you have the single game format and you have not being able to host in New Jersey.
Somebody's always a home team in this case.
So we would have to, for one of our teams to make it to Salem, which is
3 rounds,
the Elite
3
Eight
wins.
this year, you're going to have to win 3 consecutive weekends on somebody else's home court. So at the very least, if Ramapo was fortunate enough to make the tournament and selected to host at NJAC, at the very least they don't have to play somebody on their home floor. So I guess they thought that was worth the work that it would take to just host out of state. But it's tough for our teams. There's no doubt about it. We're kind of the innocent victims in the whole thing. But it's my understanding that the President's Council of Division III is looking at this, and other states, certainly more about the law. I'm told California has proposed a similar type single-game sports betting bill. So
it'll be interesting to see if clusters of states and regions do pass it simultaneously. Then what are they going to do? They'll have to go 3-4 states away suddenly just to have a hosted event. But we have crowd shots here all night long. This is a great crowd here. The NCAA is penalizing Division III in a way that the sportsbook betting isn't about Division III, honestly, and it's unfortunate that it is happening that way. And we hope that they do reconsider how they're exactly doing this if New Jersey doesn't balk on the law ultimately. So we'll see what happens. I know it makes your life challenging as the NJAC commissioner and as a committee member. Is this your last year, or do you have another?
My last year, yeah. So we're going out with a bang. You're right. We need 30 host sites, so it's going to be. The call is always difficult. I mean, when you're picking 19 at-large teams, that's difficult, and then you got to select who's going to host. And then you got to throw in the single game concept and trying to minimize flights. I mean, it's going to be some night on Sunday, but I love it. It's that time of year. It's what we're all in the business for, to play in the NCAA. I love all the NCAA tournaments, but there's something about basketball. I mean, I think we all agree.
Oh, absolutely.
The marquee sport. So.
Well, listen, maybe I'll see you next week. Maybe if Ramapo does host somewhere locally, we'll come back and do it again in some way, shape, or form. Not under D3Hoops.com's name, but under Ramapo's name. And maybe we can break my curse at that point.
I give you a hard time, but I really don't associate those losses with you. I mean, you just happen to be there. But just to be safe, we won't be playing in New Jersey, so maybe that will break.
Hey, there you go. And if that's the case, then maybe the New Jersey rule needs to stay intact just for you guys.
I just want to thank you guys for being here, too. I mean, it means a lot to the people around the conference. I know different coaches that couldn't get here tonight or at home watching, and some of the parents that unfortunately couldn't be here on a Friday night or whatever, but it's so great for you guys to come out and support Division III basketball, especially our conference, so thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us, Terry. As always, we'll be right back. It's Rutgers-Newark by 3 at halftime here on D3Hoops.com on Ustream.tv. Hi, folks. Frank Rossi back with Reggie Bazile, and Reggie, 30-27 was our score, and we had our hot little hands. I believe we have the first half stats here. So it was 29-24. There we go. Hey, look at that, folks. We have the stats. And Reggie, you can see by the score, 30-27, just runs all over the place. 8 lead changes, 4 ties. Largest lead was Rutgers-Newark's lead at 9 points halfway through the first half, but in the second half, you got to think that Ramapo is going to try to run at them a little bit more, but maybe with a little bit more control.
Yeah, and again, for Rutgers-Newark, this is what they want. They want a slow tempo. They want to spread the point total around. For Ramapo, this is a way their season has gone. Sanborn will score a lot of the points, and it'll be divided up. But hopefully Ramapo, for them, their sake, they can get out more in transition and score more points.
So the second half about to begin here, and we'll have to change our graphic to represent that fact. But again, you are watching Ustream.tv. We're actually D3Hoops.com presenting this broadcast. So thanks for watching us, being patient with us here on the broadcast. And we got some pretty good numbers, it look like, tonight. So thanks for joining us and being with us here tonight. And we are back underway. Rutgers-Newark will start with the ball here. And it's Iguebu handing it off. Garcia misses a shot. 2 putbacks finally fall for John Snow. And we have a timeout. Looks like possibly an elbow taken Elgin Brown.
And there as Brown took an elbow to the nose there, and he's bleeding as he's been taken out the game right now. Good job there by the officials actually picking that up.
Lost our overhead camera. We're going to have to actually get that fixed upstairs, our connections. So we'll have to stick with this view for now. So back to action. Again, we will try to get off this view in a little bit. Stick with us and be patient with us for that. And here's LaRusso shooting a long 2 and making it. It's good. And it's a 32-29 score in favor of Newark. And down the other way, the 3 is missed. And coming down is Rutgers-Newark. Sorry about that interruption, folks, but as you can see, we're having a little bit of a video difficulty here. And on the other way, it's a shot put in by Fatine Belfield. Making the shot, making it 36-29. Now LaRusso over Sanborn. And the ball knocked away. But a foul being called.
Foul called on Rutgers-Newark 41, Hussein Abdelmatsu. That's his second personal foul and the team's first of the half.
We're going to take a break here. We're going to start restreaming in a moment. So, folks, stay tuned on Ustream. We will be right back with you.